Hello, all, and welcome back to the NFL Quick Talk podcast. As always, like and subscribe, and follow us on Spotify. Spotify is a great way to listen to the podcast. This episode will be a part one of part two. This is the NFC quarterback tiers list. Part two will be the AFC, so that we can keep the video a little bit shorter. Tiers lists have been trending as of late. I think they're fun. I'll see how you guys like it. Maybe we can do another one for the teams instead of uh, instead of just quarterbacks. Maybe offenses, defenses. Y'all tell me what you think about that. All right, let's get right into the tiers list. To explain the tier system a little bit, first before we get started, I will put each quarterback of all 16 NFC teams into a categorized list, which uh, the lowest being D, and then going in ascending order D to C, C to B, B to A, and A to S, S being elite. And we're going to start off with quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings, Kirk Cousins. I put him at A tier. He's always winning. He's a borderline elite thrower of the football. He's always producing in high volume. He took the most shots. By that, I mean he was hit the most, sacked the most, but he still steps into his throws every time and delivers a great ball when he has to. It doesn't help. It doesn't hurt having the best wide receiver in football in Justin Jefferson there, but still produces in high volume, is a very effective runner when he has to be, very surprisingly. And for that, he gets A tier. Okay, so going on to our next quarterback, staying in the NFC North, the quarterback for the Chicago Bears, Justin Fields, I put at a C tier, largely because he hasn't proven that he can throw the ball effectively yet. He is very hit or miss when it comes to throwing the football. I know he looked good in college. We still have yet to see this. He's a borderline elite runner of the football. If he wasn't, he would be at D category, but he is at C category basically just because of his running abilities, because his passing abilities have been so hit or miss and mostly miss so far. And I mean, yes, he is maybe, depends on your point of view, a rebuilding Bears team. They're coming out of that rebuild, so hopefully he becomes more effective. And I expect him to climb this list as the years progress. And so for that, he is in C tier. We go to the NFC South now with the quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, rookie Bryce Young. He is a C tier because you can't really put him any higher because there's no proof that he'll be any good in the NFL. Just because he's the number one overall pick does not mean that he won't suck this year. Let's be completely honest. We're not sure if his size will play in the NFL, being 5'10", something around there, being skinny, and I'm not sure that he will be a great quarterback. I'm very skeptic. I know that the Panthers acquired some pieces to put around him, but nevertheless, I can't put him any higher than a C category. He's not a terrible quarterback because he hasn't proven that he's a D category quarterback, so he has to have C. All right, moving a little bit up on the charts, going to the NFC West, the quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, Geno Smith, historically a not very good quarterback, but has showed that he can be a pretty competent quarterback. I'm going to give him B tier on this list. He's not quite an A tier, and he showed last year that he is not a C or D tier. He can execute in Pete Carroll's system very well, and I think he is. Excuse me. I think he will keep actually ascending. I think by the end of this year, he could be at an A tier because of the way he played last year and the Seahawks resurrecting his career. Moving right along, we go to the NFC South, where we get the quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield. We have to put him at D category because he is washed. He is a bad quarterback. I hate to say it, but he is. In the couple games that he played with the Rams last season, while Matt Stafford was injured, he sucked. He was terrible. Even in the one game that people overhyped him in, where he led a fourth quarter comeback, he was not good until the fourth quarter. So for that, he gets D tier, and also there's no guarantee that he will even start because he may lose his job to 2021 second round pick Kyle Trask, the backup. And for that, he gets D tier. Matt Stafford, the quarterback for the Rams when healthy, gets A tier because when he is healthy, like I just alluded to, he is a near elite thrower of the football and a very underrated runner, a true leader in the clubhouse. And that was very much on display when they won their Super Bowl in 2021. And for that, he gets A tier. And we're going to the seventh QB on our list, going up north to Philadelphia. The Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts. I'll spoil this right now. This only QB in S tier in the NFC. In the AFC, that will change, as you will see soon. But he is a elite QB. His throwing skills have progressed mightily so. His rushing skills have already been elite since coming out of college, and he led the Eagles to a Super Bowl, as everyone knows. He is a true leader. He's got all the intangibles. He's got everything going for him. And oh, by the way, he can squat 650 pounds. So that's not that's not something that you want to run into. And for that, he gets S tier. No more to be said about Hurts. I could go on all day about him, but anyway. Moving on to our eighth quarterback, we are now halfway through. Sam Howell of the Washington Commanders gets a D tier because he just hasn't shown me that he can be any good. He doesn't throw particularly well, doesn't run very good. Not a great QB in his limited time. I mean, of course, we only saw him in the one or two games that he played in, but I watched the tape, I don't think he's that great of a QB, but he can change my mind this season after he was named the starter. I'm not sure why he was named the starter when they have a proven vet, Jacoby Brissett, in Washington, but that's more management, not QB's problem. So Sam Howell, he's just going to get D tier just because of what he's shown me, and like it or dislike it, um, you know. All right, now we're halfway through. Going to the ninth quarterback on our list, we have Arizona Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray, assuming he will play. He has the ACL situation going on. It doesn't look great for him, and my rating won't make him look good either. He is a C tier. He very possibly could have been a D tier. I was very back and forth on this one. But, I mean, he plays like he is in a 7-on-7 flag football game. He runs all over the field, and that was fun for his first year or two. But the league caught up with him. His stature has played a role. He's only 5'10", which is why I'm concerned about Bryce Young. But that's beside the point. He is very much not as great a thrower as people give him credit for. His throwing skills are on a C level. His running skills could have been elite. Could have been, because he could have ran forwards, but he instead decides to run backwards as far as he can whenever he runs, or sideways, or just not forwards. Again, it's why he plays like he's in a flag football game. He's not focused on winning games. He's focused on just running around. He's not focused on the play call. He's focused on what he wants to do as a player. He's a very selfish player. And that's why I give him C tier. I mean, he's not at D tier because, again, when he does end up throwing the ball, uh, good. I mean, it looks pretty good, and he has a his first couple years he did look pretty efficient, but so yeah, he's gonna have the C tier. No more said on Kyler Murray. All right, going down to Dak Prescott. Cowboy fans, you're gonna love me, but he is A tier because on paper he is a great QB. Not great at winning playoff games. He's great at choking playoff games, as it's been well documented that he can do that. But what's not very well documented is that when he does play in a normal regular season game, he is a great quarterback. He throws the ball very well. He's surprisingly very good at running, and he has all the leadership skills. It's just everyone knocks him for being Dak Prescott and choking the game away at the end, and I can understand that to a certain degree, because he is very much they would not be where they're at without him. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he wasn't on the team, if they had someone else, they would not be going to these playoff games, in my opinion, because he is that good. Going forward, though, that might not be the case because the team is very young. The defense is looking very good. It's looking stacked for the coming years with the long-term extension of Trayvon Diggs, and hopefully soon we'll get a Micah Parsons extension. But so yeah, no more said on Dak Prescott. He gets A tier. Going to another A tier quarterback, in my opinion, this will surprise a lot of people. But for the Saints, Derek Carr, when he plays, he is a surprisingly great. He's an above average thrower and an above average runner. And I think he's going to a situation where he can thrive with the Saints. The NFC South is one of the worst divisions in football, having the Buccaneers and the Panthers, along with the name escapes me right now, but having him on the Saints is key to his success. He will win a ton of games. I've been through the Saints schedule a couple times over. He's going to have a lot of wins by the end of the season. And not just for that, I give him A tier, but also because of his actual quarterback skills, which is that when he's on, he's a above average thrower and above average runner, and for that, I got to give him A tier. Okay, moving on to Daniel Jones of the New York Football Giants. He is a B tier because he is a elite runner. He would, if we were grading running quarterbacks, he would be S tier. But if we were grading passing quarterbacks, he would be a D tier. So very easy to put two and two together and put him at B category or B tier. Going down the final leg of this quarterback tiers list, we have Brock Purdy of the 49ers, assuming he's healthy and playing week one. He is a B quarterback, B tier quarterback, because he's very consistent, but by no means elite. What do I mean by that? I mean that he does not have the intangibles to be a S tier quarterback, and he hasn't shown that he can be a tier quarterback just because he played in 7 games and won all 7 of them down the stretch does not mean that you're an A tier quarterback in Kyle Shanahan's system, because Kyle Shanahan makes every quarterback look good. Case in point, we have Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to be a very good quarterback with the Raiders because he's not in Kyle Shanahan's system, excuse me. But enough said about Garoppolo. But anyway, Brock Purdy, because he's in Kyle Shanahan's system, he's only going to he's going to look great. He's going to look like an S quarterback, but in reality, his skill set and his overall grade is a B tier quarterback. All right, we're going to Atlanta, the Falcons. That was the other team in the NFC South that I didn't get when we were talking about Derek Carr. Sorry about that. But he is Desmond Ridder is a C tier quarterback because Well, not because, but surprisingly, he's actually better than I would have thought. Coming out of college, I was not very high on this kid, and I thought that he was going to suck if he ever came into any game with the Falcons. But he did surprise me. He came out and played pretty well, by all things considered, and I think that he's going to take them pretty close to a playoff berth. I'm not sure that he's going to get there. We're going to see about that, but um, if you look at the games that he played in, he actually played pretty well. He put up decent stats. He looked pretty good. He ran pretty well. He played some tough opponents, made him look even better. But he is still, in my eyes, more of a rookie than a second year starter because he only played in the last 3 or 4 games of the season. So because he's only more of a rookie than a second year player, I gotta give him C category, C tier. Sorry, I keep saying category. Um, the penultimate quarterback on our list, Jordan Love, newly anointed starter for the Green Bay Packers. He is D tier because he is not very good, and this is partially not his fault, partially because his growth was just cut off by Aaron Rodgers, and he could have been a starter 3 or 4 years ago, but he got drafted by the Packers, and Aaron Rodgers would not really let him really practice with the A team. I mean, and this is partially the staff's fault too, because no one's really given him a chance at all. Because Aaron Rodgers has been there, they're expecting him to fulfill his stature, and he will not. Jordan Love is a not very good quarterback anymore because his growth was cut off by Aaron Rodgers. All right, last quarterback on the list, Jared Goff. He's a B tier quarterback, very high volume thrower. I think he had 5 games where he had 300 plus yard games, but he is not the greatest runner, and so we put him at B. So here, if you're on YouTube, you got to see this. If you're on Spotify, you also get to see this, but you got to turn your phone on and look at the screen. Here we have the list of all the quarterbacks in their tier list. You can see they're pretty spaced out. Tiers A, B, and C have the same amount of quarterbacks. S tier, we have only the one, Jalen Hurts. D tier, we have 3. Everyone else has 4, so pretty spaced out. AFC is not so spaced out. Very crowded, and you will see that very soon. Watch this one first so that you can get the ground rules for it. In the NFC, excuse me, in the AFC one, we're just going to jump straight to it because I'm going to assume that y'all know how the tier system works. But anyway, thanks for watching. See you around for that episode, and I know there's going to be some there. My list is definitely not perfect in most everyone's eyes. Everyone's got to have their own little variation. Put it all in the comments. I'd love to interact with y'all in the comments, and let me know what y'all think about that. And if you're on Spotify, I encourage you to go to YouTube and also subscribe there. If you're on YouTube, vice versa. Thanks for watching, and see you for the next video.